Well, we have Jessie Reyez inside of the tape, the
Hello.
Roosevelt tape, where good friends recommend good music.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. Happy as hell. I got candy.
She got candy.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the disclaimer is that I don't know how old that candy is. Does it expire?
Well, guess we'll find out tomorrow.
I seen somebody on Twitter said, like, does seasoning expire? You know, cooking seasonings. I'm like, I don't know, because I've had some shit, or, you know, your mom has some shit in the cabinet
Yeah.
forever.
Sometimes it gives them more kick, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, we were trying to figure out when the last time you were here was and what year that was. I'm not sure, but we do have a gift that we were supposed to send to you after that Jingle Bash performance that you did. Killed it on stage. Was a signed poster.
Wow, crazy.
And I guess you had requested at the time for that to be sent to you.
Hilarious.
So,
Well,
and it
thanks.
never got sent. It's been
Nah,
chilling right here.
Better late than never.
There you go.
Thank you.
I gotta say, congratulations.
Thanks.
It's really good to see you. I mean, you've always had this really good aura about you, but like as of late and watching your interviews and just following you, there's like this certain glow, and I see this with a lot of the R&B girlies like Ari Lennox. We got Kehlani, Jasmine Sullivan that have like this. I don't like to call it a glow up because I feel, like I said, always had that glow, but it's like a shedding, you know, of whatever that past self is. A shedding of a new discipline, I would describe it really.
That's nice.
How does it feel maintaining that day to day, or what does that look like for you maintaining that day to day?
Just being aware. Being aware of thought patterns, being aware of like doing things that I know are good for me even when I don't want to do it, which is ironic as I shove candy into my mouth. 'Cause I know it's not good for me, but what people don't see is that I just like shoved 20 carrots and like broccoli and like some protein and a green juice and water and
It's your
oregano
treat.
oil, like, you know what I mean? Balance. But like working out even when I don't want to, even if it's late. If I said I was gonna do it today, even after the show I'll work out. Like just observing and maintaining and follow through. I think it's nice, that's the wave. Because I noticed that too. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm like, this is interesting, because it seems like it's just like it's a weird thing to describe. Especially because we're all so different.
Yes.
But it's that little through line. Yeah, it's just really cool to see. But I think that's how I maintain. I'm just aware and just watch my thoughts more often than I used to.
Shit, I just started with committing to washing my face every night, and I'm doing pretty well to
Nice.
it. It's like, you know, little things, right? And I'm doing so well that now I can feel it. Like, if I don't, like, I can't sleep well if I haven't, you know, refreshed.
Taking everything off.
It's like little stuff like that day to day that makes, you know, the bigger picture
Hell yeah.
worth it and whatnot.
Hell yeah.
I was watching your Tiny Desk performance, Fire.
Thank you.
You performed a medley of Figures and Mutual Friends. How does it feel singing Figures now, 5 years later?
It's
And
nice.
kind of
It
like the
doesn't hurt.
impact of what the domino effect that set off for you.
That's wild. It's nice that it used to make me cry a lot when I used to perform it. Now the reason is a little different. Now I cry, even like in general, I just cry a lot more often from gratitude these days, which is such a gift. I'm not mad at the tears, you know? I'm not mad at the tears if they come from a good place. But it's just crazy. It's crazy to assess and think back and map it backwards of like everything that's happened and how it happened and why certain things had to happen the way that they did. And if anything, it humbles me and gets me excited all at once for like the future, because you just never know. You just never know about life, you know?
Well, I'm looking at it as also like from Figures to Mutual Friends. There's a lot that you've lived, gone through, the world has gone through since then.
Yeah.
You know, we got the Tiny Desk, we got the Lion is King, we've got two
Crazy.
albums. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty intense.
It's nuts.
Intense of a roller coaster. And, you know, getting into Yessie, I had a moment. Played the album, started off with Mood, obviously, but, you know, as a person with a Latina background, I heard that sample right away, and I just, like, looked at my phone. I was playing it on my phone, like, no, she didn't! I was really trying to go hard and find Los Diablitos, I think it's by, a vinyl for you today. I couldn't find one.
That's okay.
But that shit was fire. How did you choose that sample?
It made sense. It just made sense. The song was done before the sample got included. And I just remember hearing the hook being like, it's just not there yet. Like, it's missing roots, you know, pun intended. Because, like, for me, obviously, that song decorates the tapestry of a lot of, like, it decorates a lot of my memories. And Yessie for me is, I don't think I've made the best work that I have yet to make, you know what I mean? But for me, that's probably the most honest piece, because I've never really taken the sort of mental inventory that I did for this album, for my life in general. It just so happens that I made the album during that time in my life, but in my life, I've never done that. And it's just I've always been vulnerable, but it's a new level of vulnerability. And it's less identified with pain, less identified with, like, trauma, less identified and lighter. My girlfriend said that to me the other day. I saw one of my oldest friends. She was like, you doing all right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you seem lighter. And
that's what I'm talking about. There's like a certain shedding that's going on, and I love it.
Yeah. So I think that's how. There's also like there's like an Easter egg in Mutual, like you should be grateful that I didn't hurt you back was intentional, because in figures it's, I wish I could hurt you back, but it's past vengeance. But it's also not all the way to healing, because Mutual Friend also has a little bit of toxicity in it.
Oh yeah.
Just a little sprinkle, but it's movement, it's progress, and sometimes you need to celebrate even the smallest amount of progress. And for me, that song, that point where I was at, sometimes you need to go from grief or hurt or depression to anger to healing. Like, that just ends up being a little lily pad, you know? And if it needs to be a lily pad, so be it, as long as you don't stay in that anger, because that anger is only going to poison you. But the anger gave me a song, so hallelujah.
There you go. You're able to. Yeah, you're definitely right. And I think what doesn't get talked about enough through that process is it's daily little rituals. That's why I mentioned, like, washing my face, or like little stuff like that you focus on. I was watching your interview with Angie Martinez, and there was a moment you were talking about dealing with anxiety, or just being out in public or parties and whatnot, and how you had learned to think about even, I'm doing it right now, the back of your knee, or like things like that. And I started doing it, and like I said, I'm doing it right now. I'm thinking about the back of my knee, and it started tickling. Is that supposed to be the sensation that you like focus on? How does that work?
You focus on the feeling. You focus on the feeling. It's crazy how that, like, the reason.
And does it have to be like all cringy kind of things? Because one of the things you had said, like, under your nail bed, I was like, ooh, that hurts. No,
you could just think of, like, the most interesting is, for me, like, one of the most interesting things, and this is one that I took from this book, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks about meditating and becoming aware of certain chakras, right?
That's what it is.
And then if you think of, for example, your heart chakra. Well, actually, no. Think of your, what is it? There's a chakra that's like around your stomach, and it's yellow. And for a lot of people, they might have never done it, because when I was reading this, I had never done this. But it's like, so you can bring your awareness to, like, something that you can see is very easy. Like, you bring your awareness to your fingertip, right? And then you can bring your awareness to your wrist, and now go to the middle of your wrist. Like, because you have the ability to feel, even though you don't, you do. You have the ability to bring your awareness there. And now bring it to, like, your torso. So now you're inside your torso. Now everyone, I guess, is inside my torso. And then you go to your heart. And then in the book, it explains how, like, when you're learning to do it, it's really hard to pinpoint. So then he goes, think about an orb around it, right? So now think about the point. So now we're at the point, and now think of around. And when you go around, it's easier to kind of take up space in that area. And that's not like it's different. It's not a painful thing. It's a really abstract thing to be like, all right, now I'm in the middle of my spine. That's where my awareness is. And now my awareness is going to be like in my right earlobe. Like, when have you ever thought of, like, unless you
I'm going there right now. It makes me feel ticklish. Like,
because your body's like, oh shit, she knows we're here. You know, like, oh, shit.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's not used to it. It's not used to having that sort of, like, even, like, sometimes attention is like appreciation. You know, when you bring attention to your pinky toe, there might be cells in there, like the mitochondria in the cells probably like, holy fuck.
Like,
like
hey, dog,
that
thank
light.
you for...
You know what I mean? Like, she don't want out here.
Thank you,
It's like a shout out.
I like that.
I think
It makes me think of, have you ever seen it's a Disney movie,
Yes.
Inside Out?
Yes, I love Inside Out.
Oh, such amazing, like the way they did that.
So good.
I was chilling with my nephew once, and I guess he had heard me talking to my sister about my whatever emotional state I was in, and he was like, "Dia, you want to watch Inside Out so you can learn about feelings again?"
How old?
How old?
Yeah.
I think he was 8 at the time, 8 or 9, something like that.
That's so sweet.
I was like, yes, I do.
That's
Let's
sweet.
watch it together. We can both learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, that self-awareness, it's a bitch, but it's worth the work.
Yeah, worth the work.
Yes.
Exactly. Worth the work.
I was watching this interview you did with Billboard back in 2018, and one of the questions they had asked you was, what do you wish you knew more about? And
What did I say?
quantum physics.
Oh, nice.
Like, good answer. Finding God within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What our past or afterlife looks like. And I was wondering, just have you found any answers in that time?
Afterlife, I don't know if we get lucky enough to know it beforehand. I've had dreams with like loved ones that have passed that have given me pieces of truth. Like one of them was this beautiful dream I had with my boy Andrew, and he basically told me that heaven didn't exist. Or no, that hell didn't exist. He's like, everything we do on earth, we pay on earth. And then when I asked him about heaven, he explained it to me in a way that I could comprehend. But after the dream, after analyzing, I understood. But he was like, Jess, it's like you want a hot dog and you have a hot dog. And I was like, what? And it made sense that I was like, oh, wholeness. Like, there's no space between wanting, because wanting is suffering. Wanting is lack. But once you return to that, wherever it is we come from, it's just wholeness. And hell is just a made-up thing, because everything here is a cause and reaction. So if you're thick, you're going to get thickness back. If you're great, you're going to get greatness back. And it's just a school of thought that I subscribed to. It resonated with me. So I think I've had that dream a long time ago, but if anything, I've just had life experiences that have kind of showed me
the power that you truly hold to be able to...
in action and reaction, and in reaping what you sow. Just affirmative experiences. Quantum physics, hell yeah, 2020. While I went through a depression, but I also went through a lot of YouTube wormholes, and like a lot of like, what is reality? What is time? Time's not linear. Wormholes, all these things that I'm a fucking fan of. And then I found these quantum physics groups on Clubhouse.
What?
So I could just pop in and like hear it straight from the horse's mouth, like these legitimate fucking certified, decorated ass probation and professors talking about like discoveries and just all these. It was just really cool to be in a room where I had no business being, and I never experienced you know how like in Clubhouse you used to like, you could raise your hand to like ask a question or whatever?
You were nervous to raise your
Girl?
hand.
Girl?
I think I spoke on there once, and I was in my room by myself. I don't know why I was so nervous.
Sweating.
My voice was shaky. Like we do this. I talk for a living. I can do this. Like
sweating.
Yes.
Sweating. I'm pretty sure I wrote down the question prior to, because I was like, I don't understand my words.
My notes app,
fucking
like,
yeah.
yes.
Because it was such a foreign world to me, where I am a student. You know, I'm a green, like fetus level student when it comes to learning about those kind of topics. So I was definitely nervous, but it was such a gift to be able to just like be a fly on the wall within those kind of conversations and be able to retain what I could retain. And then finding God within myself is the chakra experiment that I just said. Like it's beautiful to be able to, it's beautiful to be aware of like the life force that's within us. Like, we don't have fucking batteries. That's magic. The fact that we have this thing that pumps forever for our forever, you know, not forever, but for our version of forever. Like, that's magic. That's life force. That's God, you know. And some people might think it's sacrilegious, but to me it resonates as truth. Like, yeah, I just think it's magic, and I think I've been able to tap into it more. I tap into it when I pray, tap into it when I meditate, tap into it when I'm aware, tap into it when I talk to people, because it's in you. Like, whatever this is looking at you through my eyes the same way it's looking at me through yours.
I'm all staring at you. Yeah, I feel it. Everything you said. Yeah, give it to me more, dog.
Yeah, man. It's cool.
I guess just bouncing off that question, what would you like to learn from this point?
How to maintain.
Yeah.
How to maintain and not fuck it up. But I'm definitely like, this space that I'm in is not completely foreign, because I remember finding hot yoga a long time ago and
How
feeling
was that?
like lovely. I found it years ago when I I gave weed a break and I needed a supplement.
I was gonna say, I was like, there's a spot on Sundays right next door. Actually, they do hot yoga. That's what I've been. I'll evolve to hot yoga one day.
Yo, it's the best. It's the best.
I bet it feels good.
Especially after. It's one of those things that's like it's the gift you get after. You don't really get it during, but you get it after. But anyways, how to maintain
the gift you get after.
Yeah, it's the best. I love it. But I realized that in my life, like, things would align and I'd be eating okay and I'd be working out, I'd be setting boundaries, and then things would get good and I'd be like, cool, no more therapy, no more. I thought that it was a linear thing. Like, I thought I had gotten there, but it's not. It's not. And some people talk about it like, oh, you can't say that you're always healing because you identify as trauma, you identify as traumatized. But I don't think it's that. I think that, like, life is about experience, and experience is this. It's not just this. It's this. It's up and down. So learning how to maintain and not get cocky in the happy space, but understanding that if I want to stay like this, I need to. I just, las cosas. I need a sacrifice. You need to put in time, put in work. But like you said earlier, it's worth the work. So. Just
listen, I told my friends not to tell me when I'm losing weight, because then I start falling off like, oh, I feel good.
Yeah.
You right? I look good.
Yeah.
Shut it. No compliments. I'm working on something here. You were talking about going down a YouTube wormhole. Mine lately has been reincarnation.
Oh, cool.
Well, on TikTok, I've been in that wormhole. Yeah. And there's this guy that was talking about how... kids have been here before, and some of those stories that
don't make no sense,
but then they break it down. They're digging up bodies that, like, a kid, for example, this kid was driving by this church or something, this house, and had to be like 5 or 6, and tells their parents, I died there. And I think he divided, I know I'm messing up the story, but he gave them more details, and they went and dug in that area, and they found exactly what that kid was talking about. And he wasn't old enough to, like, read it somewhere or watch it somewhere or have anything like that. So yeah, that was pretty intense. I remember reading about not reading about it. It was a James Patterson novel, and they had talked about reincarnation, and I stopped looking into it because it gave me nightmares, and I was like, nah. But talking about
it's lit.
2 wormholes.
I think it's so beautiful.
But I mean, it's hard not to believe that, that energy isn't there.
Recycled.
We haven't been. Yeah, it's recycled. Like, what's more sustainable than
just doing it again and again till you're back to wholeness. Like, in numerology, they talk about that. They talk about how, like, I'm probably mangling this explanation as well, but, like, something about, like, 1 to 9, and then there's 11, 22, and 33. But the amount of times is basically how many times you've been on Earth. And it's just funny because sometimes when I meet people, I'm like, I just feel like their energy is new, and then I'll find out they're 1. I'm like, it's their first time here, and I'm like, oh, sick, welcome. Like, it's spirits first time manifesting into this realm, And when someone's a 33, it's like the closest to returning back to home.
How are the numbers determined?
You total your birthday, and then you reduce it to a single digit, but only if it's from 1 to 9. But as soon as your digits come to 11 or 22 or 33, those are master numbers, because I guess that's near the end of the cycles. Yeah.
I'm doing math underneath it. No. Wait, am I?
Your birthday. When's your birthday?
August 3rd.
So
8, 9, 10, 11.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
June, July, August. So 08?
8.
And then what?
3.
3, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then year?
89.
9, 10. Okay, so remember 11, okay?
Okay. I'll type it down.
Oh, wait.
I'll forget.
No, remember 2. Remember 2.
All right.
10, 8, 18, 19, 20, 21, 3. You're 5.
Okay. I don't know what it means, but tell me more about being a 5.
You're a 5. You're a creative. My retention is... I know you're 5, and you could Google it. But
I'll look into it more. Yeah. What number are you?
11.
Okay. And you were, before I interrupted you were breaking down 11. Or
it's the title, because everyone has a title, and that title is the Wounded Healer, which is kind of sad when I first read about it, but whatever. It is what it is. But it talks about how, kind of like the example of the fuck up, which is kind of fucked. But different sites have different things. But being able to help people through my fuck ups.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, figures. Figures.
Here we are. It all makes sense.
Here we
So I forgot what part I was going to get at. Oh, so on my show, the Roosevelt Tape, I have a Sunday night specialty show. The motto is good friends recommend good music.
Yes.
Every week, I like to highlight an album.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, we're going to be highlighting Yessie.
Let's go.
I did pick 3 songs. Of course, I had to kick it off with Mood.
Let's go.
Just because of the Diablito sample right there.
Caminos de la vida.
And I know we talked about it there. Who's the first person you played this for? I'm assuming your parents, or
No.
once it was no.
No, that was a surprise. The first person?
Or who were you excited to play this for somebody when that sample was cleared? I know it wasn't cleared till the day of, or like what was that build up there?
Sorry, I'll take this out of my mouth.
You can go ahead, girl.
It was euphoric, but I don't think I was excited to play it for anybody. I was just more so excited that it had got cleared because I was just,
I saw somewhere the day of.
yeah, day of, and like it was nuts. And everybody was telling me like, Jess, you might have to let it go, and I was like, no. And they're like, you might have to re-sing it, and I was like, no, we'll figure it out. And I had no idea how we were gonna figure it out. I just had faith. I had no idea, and then I fucking like beat my brain apart thinking about
A way you can get away with it. Yeah.
And I thought about Carlos Vives, and I was like, you're a friend with a legend that can move mountains. Like, let's just ask their team. So I had my team. I was like, we just, figure it out. And they figured it out within the day. We were doing it for weeks. We were trying to clear this for a long time and couldn't get a email response for nothing. Yeah. And he came by and saved the day. Saved the day, which adds so much to the poetry of the song because of what the song means to me and what the sample means to me and the fact that Carlos Vives
You're right.
Crazy. It was a lot. It was beautiful. I'm very grateful.
I just thought of a question I wanted to ask you earlier. I know for a moment, talking to different labels about where to partner up on and whatnot. I know that you took it upon yourself to call everyone individually and kind of just tell them that we're going a different direction. Did you have to have like a little mental pep talk with yourself, or you were so sure in your decision that it was easy? Because that's a big one. That's kind of hard to, You're grateful for the opportunity, and then now you got to let somebody down.
No, my fear of lack of integrity and lack of mutual respect was bigger than my fear to call. Yeah. So
Feel that.
No. And it opened my eyes to a lot of people that switched up too. So it was quite the experience of going through that list. But it also let me see who was real, which was cool.
That was just the question that was on my mind. I didn't have anything to bounce off that. I was like just going through my own deals and whatnot. I'm like, this is tough. Like,
people respect it. The people who you
get it,
yes,
or understand where you're coming from. It's not selfish. It's about you, your life.
Yeah, people are gonna understand. The people who are supposed to will, and the people who operate from that level of integrity will respect you for it, and then you'll be able to seed out like who doesn't. Because whoever's mad at you will be like, oh, you're thinking that, yeah. Don't operate from the same level as you.
I feel it. Yeah. I like that. That's a gem. Let me go ahead and make a mental note there. The next song in the 3-way, Forever, featuring Black, who's been keeping it pretty low key these days, and he popped up for Yessie. Talk about the energy recording with Black again.
I love him. He's great. I sing his praises anytime someone asks me, because I always say that he's just like, he walks into the room and he's an energy equalizer for the greater good. Like, he floats into rooms like Morticia from the
like his voice,
family. His energy, his spirit, his like.
Yes, no, I'm saying like similar to his voice.
Yes, exactly, because his voice does that. His voice is just so peaceful. But him, because some people sound beautiful and they end up being assholes. Like he's like, it matches. He's as peaceful and as sweet as you think he is, or as you might think that he is, and he came through, and it was such an intimate album too that I didn't want.
It's the only feature, right?
Yeah. I didn't want it to be I didn't want it to be a big thing. I wanted it to be something that, not a big thing, but a full thing, like too many people. I just wanted it to be perfect, and he's a perfect fit.
Nice.
Yeah, friends forever.
The last song on the Roosevelt three-way, we got Tito's, which I thought was a nice boppy track. You got the Spanglish on there. Talk about recording that one.
Shout out Calvin. I was at Calvin's house and we were just jamming like always, and it popped out. It was just one of those that just popped out, and I'm happy that he let me keep it too, because we make enough, you know, and obviously like place records before, so different things can go to different people. But I was like, yo, I need to keep this one for myself, bro. And he was like, all right. And then Tito's came to be.
Because it's a little bit more of a bop than some of your other stuff, and like even the theme or the context of the song. That's why I chose it for it, because it was a standout record.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a we have fun every time that we're making music. It's always just like it's fun. It's fun.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Well, you got a sold out show tonight. The Van Buren.
What show? Oh, sorry, I didn't.
No, you're good. You're good.
Are you rolling?
I am.
Okay.
Me and my cane. I'm gonna try to hustle my way upstairs. Listen, on my way.
Disney, are you coming?
No, I don't think so.
Lame, Disney. Come on, bro. We'll put you on the list, man. Pull up.
But I appreciate you stopping by the Roosevelt tape. We're good friends. Recommend good music.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
Jessie Reyez.
Thank you for the candy.
Oh, listen, you can dig in for more.
I will.
You want the piñata?
No.
Llévatelo.
No.